other arrangement. I was in 3. There you go.
transitions in there, and we kept the group for the most part with you, so that was great. Just a very kind of straightforward word of advice. Whenever you're doing something in cut time, I've just always learned it's good to say to the group, by the way, this is in 2, okay? And it doesn't matter if it's a professional group or a student group, there's always just that little bit of doubt, you know? So it never hurts you to say, by the way, this is in 2, you know, just to kind of plant that seed in case they didn't see that little line in the C, you know? Yeah. I found it's always good practice. Recommend, just a little technical thing I want you to try. So every time we've got this retard into the fermata, you might want to give just a slight 4 there, 1 and 2. But then getting out of the fermata, you're cutting and then setting up the beat. And I'd like you to try just making the cut for the fermata beat 2 in the new tempo. So 1 and 2, ba-dum, ba-ba-dum. So it's just one gesture coming out of the fermata. Does that make sense? 1 and 2. So the cut for the fermata is actually basically the prep for your next time, which will give us a little less space there. Okay. Can you just try it and see how it feels to you. Okay? So start from the very beginning.
Okay. Yeah, beginning.
So generally speaking, when we're conducting, especially in transitions, the fewer motions, the better. I mean, in general, if we can just economize our motions, we increase our chances of success. And also, there are sometimes as conductors where we fall into the habit of always cutting off a fermata and then giving another gesture. So automatically you've inserted an amount of silence in there that's not necessarily called for in the music. So one of the first pieces of advice I got when I was studying conducting was to think about how much, without conducting at all, just sing through the phrase with the amount of silence that you want, and then figure out what gesture is going to give you that amount of silence. But as conductors, a lot of times, we just do what's most convenient, which is the easiest thing to do, and then we don't really think about what that does to the music, okay? So never let your gestures dictate the music. Allow the music to dictate your gestures. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, can you try one more time from the top? And so you're giving us a nice, very fluid opening to this, but I'd like to see something a little different when the trumpet starts, because the way that the rhythm is notated, it sounds suddenly twice as fast. So can you give us, without changing the pulse at all, the tempo is going to be exactly the same. Is there something else that you can do that's going to encourage that trumpet player to kind of take off in at that kind of double tempo kind of feel, okay? It's close, and it's just a very subtle difference. Yum, bum, bee. We just give a little extra ictus, a little extra pop, which is going to give you the cut for the fermata, but also set up the time. Okay? Can you start right on that measure with the fermata? So measure 10, sorry?
Measure 10.
And suddenly we have a change in articulation, right? Which is what?
More separated.
And what's at the front of the note? What do you see over the
more
notes?
of an attack.
The accents, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly we have accents. So instead of this kind of fluid opening, we have bing, bum, ba-be-da, ba-ba-ba, right? Mm-hmm. So we want almost like bell tones there, right? And so you need to show that to them. So can you try that?
Do you want me to start right there? Right on 13? Or the fermata?
How about the fermata again?
Okay. Fermata, so 10.
Did a really nice job here at 13 of giving a little bit more pop for those accents, but then the trumpet, he's in a different world, right? It's like he missed the memo. He's still playing the stuff that was happening before. So this should be maybe a little more fluid, And then we have another really bold interruption at
Yeah,
20 with the
I missed
clarinet,
that one.
okay? So it's a matter of giving the clarinets the pop, the saxes the pop, more fluid for the trumpet, and then back into the pop for the clarinets and saxes again, okay?
All right, fermata again, 10. Ready.
We're out of time, but nicely done. Good job.